Welcome to your health and safety induction for construction. The type of work that we undertake means that thinking about your own health and safety and the health and safety of others must be a priority whilst you're visiting or working on our site. As a new employee, contractor or visitor to our site, we want to provide you with an overview of the main health and safety arrangements that are in place to ensure that you can carry out your work or visit without coming to harm. We all have a role to play in looking after both ourselves and other site users whilst in the workplace environment. Let's take a look at some common activities that you need to be aware of when visiting the premises. Upon entering or accessing the site by vehicle or car, it should be noted that reverse parking is strongly encouraged. This is to reduce the risk of collisions with other vehicles, plant, and of course, pedestrians. Please be aware that heavy plant operates regularly in the construction area, including cars, vans, mobile plant, and heavy goods vehicles. It's important that you stay aware of this traffic at all times. Ensure to communicate with drivers and banksmen and wear high-vis clothing in the designated areas. Also, please remember to use pedestrian walkways whenever possible and keep an eye out for safety signage across the site. Let's take a brief look at some of the key construction site risks. Housekeeping. Those responsible for work on construction sites must manage their activities so that people can move safely around the site. Stay aware of trailing cables and stored materials, uneven surfaces and level changes. Stick to the designated walkways where possible and always wear appropriate footwear. Everyone can make a contribution to reducing slips and trips on site. Keep your own work area tidy, and if you see a risk, sort it or report it to someone who can. Manual handling. This relates to the use of bodily force when moving materials or interacting with machinery. Manual handling should be minimised as far as possible, with mechanical aids and lifting equipment used to move materials where it's feasible to do so. Work at height. Working at height is the biggest single cause of serious and fatal injury in the construction industry, and it comes in many different forms. This includes roof work, the use of mobile elevated working platforms, scaffolds, ladders and rope access. If you are carrying out work at height, you must have applied controls that prevent, restrict or mitigate the impact of falls. Structures and excavations. Alterations and dismantling to structures and excavation of ground carries the risk of unintentional collapse. Exclusion zones and temporary support structures should be in place to reduce the risk of structural or excavation collapse where there is a risk to safety. Lifting operations. Operations involving lifting equipment must be properly planned, appropriately supervised and carried out in a safe manner. Cranes and lifting accessories such as slings must be of adequate strength, tested and subject to regular examination and inspection. All crane operators and people involved in slinging loads and directing lifting operations must be trained and competent. Electrical safety. Electrical equipment must be safe and properly maintained. Only in exceptional circumstances should work be carried out on live systems, and then only by a qualified and authorised person. Whether you're working on electrical systems within buildings, working close to overhead power lines, or excavating near underground cables, safe systems of work must be employed to ensure potential electrical risks are surveyed, identified, and avoided or adequately controlled. Mobile plant and vehicles. The use of excavators, telehandlers, MUPs and other heavy plant and vehicles will be very common on the site. As a plant or vehicle operator, you must be suitably qualified and competent to operate any plant you're using. And as a pedestrian or operator, it's essential that you pay attention to and adhere to the access requirements and restrictions as outlined in the site's traffic management plan. Permits to work. To help us further reduce risk, certain high-risk activities that occur on the site may require a permit to work to be in place. This may include activities such as working at height, hot works, excavations, or working in confined spaces, for example. Speak to your site manager or line manager to ensure that you have the correct permit in place before carrying out your work. And finally, if you would like to highlight a possible safety or environmental hazard that you spot on site, or you're unsure about something related to the health and safety of yourself or others, please report the issue immediately to your line manager, host, or the on-site health and safety representative. Thank you for paying attention to this brief health and safety induction. Let's work together to build a safe and successful future for everyone. If you found the content in this example site induction useful, don't forget you can access the latest version of the full course with certificates and everything over at safeti.com. We'll pop a link in the description and on the screen to make it easy for you to access that. Thanks again for visiting us here at our YouTube channel. We'll see you soon.